Hey, what's going on, guys? Tony here, CCxRC, and we are live coming at you. It's Saturday afternoon, and I just want to give you a quick update. I've been out of the country for work for the past 2 weeks, plus a week before that, just trying to get ready for the trip. So I've been offline for a little while, but I have been on the Tank RC, his RC talk in the evenings when he's had those. So I've been active still in that way, but my channel's been a little bit silent, but I wanted to let you guys know that there's stuff coming. In fact, we're going to go live tonight with Honey Lulu. She's going to be doing a hydro dip of a body that I sent her to dip for me for, I don't know what. I think I want to put it on my DHK Maximus, but it may also go on a monster truck because we had a lot of monster truck stuff here. And I thought maybe, you know, most of it's kind of tailored after real trucks, but maybe we'll do one that's kind of a CCxRC truck. So we'll see. But we've got a few people popping in here. Mike Burgess, Drone Life, Jaros RC, Ezra Evans. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. So I was getting ready because my boys and I were going to start working on putting together the truck that Steve O.D. keeps asking about, which is the Pirates 2. And this is just a roller, and it's a really beefy roller. And so I need some electronics for it. And so what we're planning to do is scab them out of here. So we'll be taking the JLB apart, and we're going to be sticking it into the other one. Actually, I think this is the wrong one. I wanted to keep this one together because this one has all the parts in it, and I wanted to take apart this one and turn this into a parts truck. As you can see, I've already taken some parts off of this one to put onto the J3 Speed. So this is the one that I want to take apart. There's not actually much wrong with this. I just kind of scabbed one of these arms, and so we may put it back together. We'll see how the Pirates 2 does before we make that decision. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. And I thought I would just kind of talk with you guys as I went through some of this, because I really need all the electronics out of this. So servo, receiver, ESC, motor, all that's going to come out and get put in the new truck. And I'm going to have my kids work on that with me. But you can actually see this shock is bent too here. It's twisted in. It actually bent that screw right there. So that's an easy fix. Let's just put another screw in there. But I'll use this as a part truck for now for the other truck, and you know, flip things around as needed. A couple questions in there popping in. We've got Bruce Pittman saying, what are some good gear setups for the Axial SMT10 to race Pro mod? The gear setups, the main thing you need to do is you need to put like the hot racing metal gears inside of the transmission to go brushless in order to handle that power. And then I run a 16-tooth pinion gear with the stock spur gear, which is, I don't know what it is, but I also swap that out for metal gear as well. The spur gear is metal, so it's all metal geared now through that. And then you also want to upgrade your ring on your why am I blanking, on your diffs, the ring that goes on there. You want to get the HD bevel gears for that as well. So that's for somebody. Josh does something, says, hey man, I've seen you at my church. That's very possible if you're in Chesapeake. Bar Harbor Basher is here. Yes, Josh, you're right. You have seen me there. So, how's it going, Bar Harbor Basher? I've seen what you've been doing with your off-road vehicle, and it is pretty sick. Awesome stuff you got going there. I just picked up something. If you didn't see it on my Instagram, before I start tearing this apart, I can show you. I got a new build from Matthew Hall here. It's a clod-based CPE Buffered Performance Engineering Terminator chassis running Clodbuster axles, and these are I believe these are the Hess aluminum gearboxes here for the axles, so it's pretty beefy looking with those. And I've actually got aluminum arms here as well, so I might put those on. But it came with a Hulk body on it. I'll show you because you guys haven't maybe seen it. Which is pretty cool. I mean, it's based off of the what is it, the Samson truck, and when he ran a Hulk, so it's an Incredible Hulk body. I'm planning to use my snakebite body on it for racing, but this thing also is going to need an electronic setup. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but here it is with the snakebite back on. So I'm going to do LEDs for the eyeballs, and I'm going to do some fangs off the front. I've seen somebody do just, what did they do? They did, just zip ties. They just pushed through the front and cut off and bent. That seemed to work pretty well. So that's going to be the new one. I'm actually going to take these tires off. These are not glued. I'll use these probably on a retro at some point, but I'm going to go with the Proline. I've got a set of Proline Devastators or whatever that I can put on. Same as these. These are the Destroyers, sorry. My bad. Bar Harbor Bachelor's thing has been an awesome summer with the family. I'm sure it has, man. Josh is asking about the Flux. I don't have that anymore, the HPI Sport 3 Flux. That's one of the few trucks that I have sold, or cars that I've sold. I couldn't run it anywhere around here. It just, Tank RC is talking about it too, and just how even where you think it's clean, it gets up in and the belt crank steering just is locked up, and it doesn't take much to lock it up. So I got rid of it. So yeah, they've got that Mustang that looks so cool, but the Monster Energy one, and I really like it, but I'm not going to go down that path again. Revan Sons RC, how's it going? Your truck was looking so good on the trail video, man. So I did post a trail video last night to kind of get things started here on the channel again, because it really has been so long. It's been like 3 weeks since I've done anything on here, because just been finally got work again, and was out of the country in Latvia for a while there. See if I can't get something under here to pry with. Yeah, a screwdriver or something. Something I won't mind if it breaks. It's got to be small to get in there. I usually have screwdrivers in this kit though. Maybe this will do it. There it is. That's all it took. But yeah, as soon as I can get this thing prepped, I'm going to have my boys help me put it into the new truck. Just a little time to get them off the screens and get them screwing and wrenching and doing that kind of stuff on these trucks. Guys, need to go check out Revan Sons' channel. He's got not only some really cool RCs, but he's really getting good with his drones. I've kind of given up on the drone. I killed mine last time I was hanging out with them, and I need to get a whole new frame because they don't make my frame anymore. And it's just got other things that I'd rather put money into right now, so I'm gonna let the drone game kind of go for now. I might get back into it. Bar Harbor Basher, are you still in the drone game? I know you were getting into it. There we go. ESC. This should be pretty easy to pull apart, I'm thinking. I think this motor slides out pretty easily. I got these Dubros that I really like, except there's one thing I do not like about them, and that's that they changed the size of the handles here. And some of the most used sizes, like 1.5 millimeter and 2 millimeter, are so tiny that you can hardly get any torque on them because there's just nothing to grab onto. So that's the one thing that kind of bums me about them. But they are the rounded tips, so you can come at them from a little bit of an angle, which is nice. But I could never recommend them to anybody because of these handles. It really is a bummer. I mean, this is the 2 millimeter that I need right here to get in here and torque on this. And there's just nothing to grab onto. Luckily, these aren't in very tight. So I should be able to slide this motor out pretty easily. Let's see if we can go and do some cool stuff here. Well, that's not what I meant to do. That's kind of cool though. Keep it like this. Just split screen it. Alright. Steve O.D., you are right. I am robbing parts to put into the Pirates 2 with my boys. So you're right. Oh, Steve O.D., man, you gotta go to those monster truck races for sure. Quickly looking here at the comments. So yeah, Steve O.D., I finally, after we were talking the other night, I'm in here trying to get this apart. I know you want to see this thing run, so I'm trying to get this out and take all these electronics and move them over, because it really shouldn't be a big deal to do it. Oh yeah, take this plastic off. It's hitting on the pinion gear. Somebody's asking if I still... Are you asking me if I still run my TRX4? Is Josh still in here? Bar Harbor Basher says he just got a long range signal for his. That's sweet, man. An Armaton. Josh does something. Are you still in here? You gotta come up and say hello tomorrow if you're gonna be there. Why are these so long? Somebody's asking about the TRX4. I don't know if they're asking Steve O.D. or if they're asking me if I still run it. I still do use my TRX4. I didn't use it when we went trailing at this last place because I haven't been using my my Jeep, which is my first truck and my favorite in some ways because it was my first truck, dual motor setup and all that. So I really wanted to run it. There we go. And so that's why I didn't run it in the trail video that I just had done. Man. Yeah, see, this is going to be really hard to do. There it goes. Cannot get any good grip on this little handle. So I'll save all these pieces and keep this together. And Joe was talking about the new wrestler. I think the new wrestler looks sweet. I was about to get one of the old wrestlers, but I kind of maybe changed my mind. The new one looks like the way to go. Try to keep all these things together because I'm not paying attention very well to where everything came from. So I've got to keep it all together somehow. I'm actually going to take this right on off of here too, because there's already a pinion gear that they want me to use with the Pirates. And so I will use that. So, Rivenson saying the Jeep is awesome. I do like the Jeep. It gives a little bit of speed and quite a bit of torque with that dual motor setup, so that's pretty cool about it. That is not coming off. Try this one. I got so many different wrenches. I keep trying new ones. These are in Amazon special, but they're grippy. There we go. That's just what you do not get from these Dubros. You do not get that amount of torque that from grabbing onto this tiny little handle. I don't know if you can see that. Try and adjust this. All right. Try to get back to the comments here. See what he says. I've got a Rustler VXL. I'll sell you. Yeah. I'm kind of liking the new Rustler, the four-wheel drive. Kind of is my game. I like four-wheel drive things. But I've got another monster truck coming in the mail, so I think that's where everything on my end is going to be going. Is motor systems and stuff like that to complete some of these. I got to get several brushless system for the clod axles set up, and then I have a ZRD coming as well, and that's going to need some massive power to move that monster truck around, but I'm really excited about that one. I keep getting this pop-up here. I don't want to install this while this is going on. There we go. All right, so who we got else in here? Enrico's in here now. He says he's going to get the new Rustler 4x4 ASAP. So yeah, we'll see. This thing is on here like nobody's business. I feel like I'm going to pull the whole shaft out of the motor trying to take it off. Man, this is why I don't typically work and do live at the same time. But this is really just kind of a preface, so if you weren't in here earlier, Honey Lulu is going to be doing a hydro dip body for me later on this evening, and so I wanted to come on and just mention that. I'll talk about some of the projects that I've got going on, being the snake bite. I've got a special body coming for the ZRD. We've got the crawler that you've seen as well. That's coming. It's Axial SCX-10-1, but it's running that Jeep body. What do they call it? That funky looking Jeep that kind of looks like a Unimog. Somebody help me out here. It's going to take a minute because there's a delay. I am not sure how I'm going to get this off, so I'm going to stop messing with this for the time being, and I'm going to actually put some of this back together so that I do not lose these pieces. Or mess them up. So put it back together in the way that it's gonna have to be reassembled later on down the road here. See, so there's going to be an ouch coming on here soon. Josh does something, asks if I'm ever going to try drifting. I've got a truck that I'm working on. I can go grab it in just a second. And I've got drift tires for it that I have not actually ever put on yet. But it is something that I do want to try. So that's a good question. But I actually want to go when some of my buddies have theirs. And they have it set up with the gyro and all that, so I can really get the real effect. Somebody's saying they can't hear me that good. Is my audio not working very well? Steve OD's asking if I saw the Hydro Dip pics Honey Lulu sent him. And yes, I did. I saw it on her video. Looked like a canvas or something. They look really cool. Is anybody else having audio issues? We've actually got a couple of split screen options that we can do through this app that I use. A lot of times I use the picture-in-picture. That looks to something a little bit more like this. But I just accidentally did the other one. And it actually works pretty well for where everything's laid out right now. So I'll probably go back to that. But it does lots of cool effects that you can do. But I think really for this one, the split screen's the one that works the best. I think you guys are right. It's the cooler way. I've actually never used that split screen. It was an accident, but I'm glad it went. Yeah, Josh, man, you got to come up and say hello tomorrow. I should be there, barring anything crazy happening today or tomorrow morning. All right, so let's see. This is where that turned one works good, or the rounded Dubro. You can find it because you can kind of come in at an angle on these and you can still get it to turn like this and still have full contact with the head of this nut in here, or screw, hex I should say. There's the word I'm looking for. And so without having to take all this stuff off, I can actually get at these. And that's the reason I got these. They're not necessarily my primary, but they do work well in these kind of scenarios where you need to get at some screws that are in kind of weird places but don't want to take everything apart. Unfortunately, we'll probably have to take some of this apart to get at all these, which is okay because I actually have a few things that are messed up in here anyway. Oh wait, looks like I can drop it out from the bottom here. I think I can. That would be smart of them. This could make this a whole lot easier. Josh, I usually go to the early one. Tomorrow they only have a 10 o'clock one because of the storm. It does pop out. This is awesome. Sweet. Alright, so that was nice and easy for getting that out. Now I've got my servo. I'm putting all this stuff in there. That is every piece from this is all the electronics that I'm going to run are going to be from this car. So that'll be cool. This is called Switcher Studio. There's a Switcher Go app as well. And so it basically works using iOS devices. It's running all of it off of my iPad, and then it is running off my iPhone, the camera. And then I have an old iPhone sitting up there as a overhead camera. I think it can do up to 8 devices. It can do. It's pretty slick. Charles is saying Castle 5700 KVS W3 combo is the way to go for racing clods. I'm guessing that's up for running it on 2S. I've seen different ways that people run them. Some run them on lower kV motors, but on 3S. But I know that Crawford Performance was just showing off some motors that he's got that are like 5700 or 5900 kV as well that he talked about for using with clods. So I know people do run that. But yeah, I was looking at probably Castle systems. I just like Castle, and I think what I'm going to do the Mamba Monster 2. Like the 2650 for the ZRD is probably what I'm going to do, the 8th scale Monster, Mamba Monster. I think that's what I'm going to run, is that system in the ZRD. But it's all going to take a while. Josh, I'll get up and I'll show you that truck in here in just a second. Josh, have I had any trouble with lipos? I've had a couple. That come with these cars, for instance, puff up. But only 2 of them. And I've got a ton. I've got tons and tons of lipos. So actually this car had more wrong with it than I thought. This whole thing just popped out here. So it was needing some repair work. It's actually bent from a crash. So this front end is needing a little bit of attention. There's a big screw that just came out of something. But this is going to be my parts truck for the JLB stuff. And now I've got all of these set up so that when my kids are ready, we'll be able to assemble this into the new truck. Well, I don't have everything ready yet, do I? I still have to get that pinion off. That's going to be fun. Those go to the motor. Actually, I'm going to need these probably for the motor. I'll put those just back into it. Just so I remember. Noah's asking, what am I doing here? I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. And Josh, I will show you. Yeah, but for the most part, I don't have any problems with lipos. You just got to keep your eye on them, especially when you keep them in big cans like I do with a bunch of other ones. So all this stuff is coming out of this truck and going into this one. So this one is down now. It's done. And so I've got to pull this open, and we're going to work on putting this into here. So that's the plan. And all these pieces here are in this bag for the motor mounts. That slides in here, all that. But yeah, it should be a fairly easy swap, but I'm gonna let my kids be a part of helping kind of put these things on and getting it installed in here. It actually looks like it could work with that actual pinion that's in there. So we'll see. So I told Josh I'd show him that truck, so let me go get it. So this will all fit into here, so I can actually take this off, and then it's got a built-in electronics receiver box, and then the servo sits underneath, so that's kind of cool. Here's the truck I was talking about. Put all that stuff away. Kind of done with it for now. That part of what I was working on. Alright, so there we go. It's kind of dusty. It's been just sitting on a shelf waiting. So this has the magnet mounts that I just installed recently during one of the tank shows. It's actually got a nice Spectrum receiver in it that I could have used for some other stuff. Didn't think about that. That and the Tamiya over there have got some of my nice Spectrum receivers that would be useful for something else. In fact, you can see this is still running a Tamiya plug, which is going to come in handy with those adapters now that I got with the new Venom batteries, the LiPos, because this is the only one running this now that I have, the only vehicle. So, yeah, it's just a Vitera, and these are what, V100s or something like that, S. And I've got some drift tires I'm going to stick on here. But this was a budget build. I got this off of Facebook for like 20 bucks for the chassis and everything. And then from there, it had a couple broken pieces. I just went ahead and fixed it up. Got a new drive shaft in here. Got aluminum, metal drive shaft, steel drive shaft that I put in to replace the broken one. There was a broken arm up front. And so I already had this low C system running a Tekin RS Pro ESC, and yeah, I mean, used parts I had and got it ready to go. But got this body. This was actually one of the more expensive parts of the build off of a buddy. I think it was like 25 bucks pre-lit for me. So he had made it and didn't like it. And so he built himself another one, did a little bit better job on the paint that he wanted to do. But for what I was using it for, it's perfect. So it's not a great, as far as wheelbase, lining up, all that, perfect fit, but it's close enough for what I'm going to do. I'll probably just cut these out, flare them out a little bit more, and nobody will know the difference if I just flare this back off. I'm pointing on this side where you can't see, so if I just kind of round that out more, I think it'll look all right. But yeah, that's it. Are there shocks on it? I can't see them. Yeah, so this was on 120 bucks, something like that for the build. There are little tiny shocks. Where's the best way to show them? Right here. So you can move. Same with the front. Right in here. Yeah, it's very, very low to the ground. But this one actually I kept because it could drive, and the steering didn't get all messed up like the HPI The HPI gave me a lot of problems with that. So I'm trying to see where the magnets are. That's where I put the magnets? That's way off. Why did I put them so far off? That's what I want to know. I just busted the front ones off. It should be way further back here. There we go. So I need to reset those. Luckily they're just hot glued, so they'll pop like the front one. And I can move these. I need to go forward more because this back end is just not lining up well at all. Needs to be back here. But now they're not connecting. So anyway, it'll take a little bit more work, but it's there. It drives. I drive it outside for fun. It's quick. It's yeah. I need to reset the ESC and all that and try and get a program card for it. Steve's saying I stole his hat. Yeah, man, I've had that for a while. I always have my Detroit hats. Well, recently I've gotten the Monster Jam hats. Oh, I see what happened. The magnets actually came off. They are in the right spot. They just stuck to the magnet instead of the truck. So I need to use a better glue than the hot glue. That's what happened. And then it lines up way better. Bingo. So I just need to fix it up, get it lined up right here where it is, and it'll be good to go. So yeah, it's a magnet body. They're magnet posts. They just mount into your body posts here, and they're magnets. So there you go. But these ones came off and stuck to the magnet and came out of the glue here. You'll see he had it as a magnet mount too, but his stayed in and mine did not. So he maybe uses a better hot glue than I do. He's a hot glue fiend. As you can see, there's lots of things that are hot glued in here, and so that's why I decided to just go with hot glue for the mounts, but I think I'll super glue it. That's what I'm used to using, is Gorilla Glue and things like that. Shoe goo, there you go. I don't actually own shoe goo. I need to get some. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of the update on what's going on here. See if I missed anything. How's it going? Breaking Silence jumped in. Anybody's questions that they asked that I missed, you might need to just repost them. Did Charles ever answer about the motors? A reply? Yeah, these body mounts are just from eBay. Like Steve O'D's saying, they were like $10 or something shipped, something like that. They weren't too bad. But he put the Rockstar energy drink stuff on here, Hoonigan stickers. Fake motor on the top. I didn't do anything at all with the body, but I like it. I like how we did it. So I'm good with that, not having done it. So we're saying $6 on Amazon. There you go. Shipman's asking about the storm. We did not get the storm at all. We totally missed it. So it went south of us and we didn't get any ramifications from it. I mean, we had a thunderstorm earlier in the week that was worse than the actual Hurricane Florence when it came through. I think we had 2 inches of rain, several days before it. I think we only got like an inch of rain from all of this storm. And that, the big worry here was more of the flooding aspect of it than the winds. And so because it went so far south, that upper band just missed, and so we didn't get all that water and surge driving into the rivers that are kind of right next to my house over here. And so that's where the flooding worry comes, is we're right off the river. Not right off, I mean it's through a swamp and trees and all that back there, but it does kind of float up into here. But our house is high enough that it shouldn't have flooded unless there's a really, really bad surge, but we were prepared with generator and all that. So we were just going to wait it out. Asking if this motor's from a Cloudbuster. I don't know where it's from, honestly. I don't know where he gets half of his stuff. A lot of New Bright stuff. He does a lot of hard bodies. So, got a little dice hanging in there. I don't know if you probably can't see him. Nah, can't really see him. So, I don't know what else I got. I got that Jeep. I can't wait to get done. The Jeep's looking sweet. I got a bunch of stuff from eBay for that as far as 3D printed parts, and so it's looking pretty pimped out. I got a lot of like what Midlife RC got from the same guy whose name I'm blanking on right now. But if you go on eBay, if you have one of these here, I'll just go grab it. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, so it's like a lot of stuff from RC DM, and then it's got the RC 4-wheel drive bar light in the front, but it's got this mount system that's going to go on the original axial chassis that I got from RC Crawler Workbench. I bought one of his trucks that was RTR, and so this will go up into here and mount. Probably going to do Velcro. That's probably what I'll try and do instead of having to put posts through it. I might do them in the top because they'll be kind of hidden by the roof rack, but we'll see. So, yeah, got stickers all over it, back window, tailgate, stuff like that. Derelict RC, JPRC, Radio Control Patrol, Grace with RCs, stuff like that all in the back there. So if people had small enough stickers for me to put in there, I started adding them. But it's looking cool. Yeah, the Jeep Mighty FC. So, Chevy Man saying, look up Stand Up 3D on Instagram. I'll have to do that. And yes, they did move all the Navy ships from here. Chevy Man's asking about that. Josh is asking, what is the best RC brand in my opinion? I don't think that I know of a best RC brand. I've had good luck with Traxxas. I know that's a very heated position to take. There's a lot of people that don't like Traxxas. I've had great luck with my axial vehicles, though they all need to be upgraded. Whether it's your SCX10 or your SMT10. They're good out of the box for a little bit. Not the SMT10. Out of the box, the SMT10 is hardly worth driving, I'll say that. It's really slow, and you would think that you just bought a New Bright, except that it handles better, you know, smoother and better built. But like the speed felt like it was totally a New Bright to me that I got at Target. So that's a pretty mean thing to say, considering how much I like the platform, but I think that they should have done something better out of box. It should have had a little bit more power than it has for people, for kids and whatever that aren't planning to upgrade them like we do and put, you know, several $100s into them. They could have done a 12-turn motor. They could have, you know, it was weak in my opinion. So that is a tough way of getting around to saying that I really like axial trucks. I like Traxxas. That's kind of what I've got a ton of. Yeah. Got several Traxxas. I got Losi. Losi are good. More in the race realm, I think, because they don't really have many bashers. So, you know, it's usually more race stuff. I do like the Losi DBXLE, and then my Losi SCTE10 or whatever. Their short course truck is pretty awesome. So, you know, but it's a different game, you know, for just playing around with in the yard. I know a lot of people like Arma. I've had one Arma. I really liked it. I gave it away as a gift. It was brushed. I'm kind of interested in the brushless version of that same Senton truck because it's a great backyard basher, affordable too. So we'll see. There's certain ones I'm curious about. I haven't done much with the Team Associated. They've got some bashers that I'd like to try out that are cool looking, but I think that there's a lot of good brands out there, and so it's kind of hard to pinpoint. Captures asking, what do I think about the Red Cat? I haven't done it, so the only Red Cat that I have is the ground pounder up above. I really like that truck. I felt like it had more pep out of the box than the SMT10. But in the long run, I think that the SMT10 is a much better truck. All right, we'll see you, Steve OD. Yeah, you got to go check him out. Steve and Wayne and Honolulu are on at a car show. Breaking Silence is saying that I'm right about the SMT10 out of the box. JNHM says his brother's got Italian V3 doing about 99 miles per hour. Oof. Go check out his channel, J9FPV. All right, we'll have to check that out. I don't have any Armas at the moment, but I keep saying I want a Creighton, and then I'm not too committed at this point. I need to be, but I have my X-Max, and that's such a good basher that, you know, and I've got the Revo up there, but I keep resting the drive shafts on it, so I finally bought the steel drive shafts. I've got those to put on. Josh is asking, is that the Traxxas Gravedigger in the background? That's the Axial Gravedigger, but this is the Traxxas Gravedigger. I do have that. In fact, it was on the bench right before I sat down to do this video, and it's running really well right now. I love that truck. It's just stupid fun, and that's what I like about RC, is having fun. So two-wheel drive, wheelie machine, just fun. When you don't have jumps or anything, you're just running around the yard and bouncing off of little jumps. It is one of the most fun trucks to drive, especially now that it's brushless. I just put a cheap brushless system in it, 2F capable, I think, and it's more than enough for having a lot of fun. Cobalt Boost saying he didn't like his Outcast. He broke it every bash session. So I have heard that from several people about the Outcast, as far as everyone talks about the durability of the Arma lineup. I have heard several people having issues with the Outcast, but the Creighton I've heard a lot of great things about, as well as Italian. So that's kind of the question mark for me, though, is do I want the smaller, sleeker Italian or the big, huge Creighton, which is what I think I would lean toward, but I don't know. Enrico's saying, yeah, eRevo 6S, better to have steel drive shafts. I break it even on 4S, that's the problem. I just flip it so much, and if you land, my jumps in my backyard aren't huge, and it still will flip them, and every once in a while I don't make it all the way around, and if I'm on the throttle weird, it will snap. So that's what happened, snap one of the front ones. And it's just time. I'm tired of more the hassle of doing it, changing them out, not the cost, because the cost isn't that bad, but the cost of the steel shafts is tough to swallow. But at this point, it's just I'm tired of having to fix it. Cobalt Blue says, when my X-Max breaks, I've earned it. That is so true, man. Just move this over here. Seattle Bebop, I have no arms. Yeah, no armas. I should probably take a drink. My mouth's getting dry. Seattle Bebop, do I have any new bright bodies on my SCX10? I do not. I know a lot of people that do, and they look really cool. I'm still running the stock body on mine, which is the Jeep Rubicon. And then I've got this mighty FC Jeep that I'm going to put on to the other SCX10 that's being built by my buddy for me. So he's basically I pulled it apart to take some parts out when I was building the mud truck, and I needed some SCX10 pieces until the right ones arrived because trying to finish that build, and I ordered the wrong skid plate for it, and then I also had a problem with one of the axles that didn't come with all the parts that I needed. So I borrowed them from that truck, and that meant I had to rip it apart. And so my buddy Jeremy has taken it all apart, cleaned it all out, put new grease in, the CCxRC udder butter and stuff like that. I need to get some of that. I don't have any of that yet. And I need to get one of their mats, so that I'm not dropping stuff on here and losing it in my carpet. But yeah, I'm running axial bodies on my axials still, and I'm still running my Traxxas body on my TRX4. So the only thing I've really changed is I put the RC 4-wheel drive Galant body on this side, I guess, here onto a G-Made sawback, which was quite a bit of work to do. So yeah, so it is like new. So the next thing I've got to do and make like new again is I took my son of a digger apart, and I was originally going to put the Freestyle RC axles on that, but now that I have the Freestyle ZRD chassis coming, I'm going to put the axles on that. But I gave away the AR60 axles that I had, as well as my shocks and my trailing arms and my sway bars. I gave all of that away, and so now that I'm not doing those axles on there, I'm gonna have to try and find some more axles, and yeah, hopefully maybe I'll try and get some steel ones this time, because that truck's pretty heavy. That chassis, that tuber chassis, is really tough. Do I still run the Bison at all, Joel M? Yes, I do. I actually just broke it. So I need to go in and fix it. It's not a bad break. It just, I think I pulled the drive shaft out, and I have to, oh no I didn't. I pulled the lower arm off because I bent the casing that holds in the pin, and so I just have to take it apart and bend it all back and get it back on. But it's been sitting because I have to do that still. Anything that's broken right now because of my work schedule has stayed broken. So my Revo has the drive shafts waiting to go in, and the Bison. The ones that I flip are the ones that I tend to break. So yeah. Cobalt Boost. The trip went really well, man. Yeah, we totally have to do the batch session. My X-Max is ready for it. I think. I need to look it over again. I think it is. I put the new bumper and everything on and fixed everything that was wrong with it. So it's ready to go. So we just need to set a time. I'm going to be around for a while. The Bison's cool. Yes, the Zombie's one of my favorites, as well as the Maximus. So I've got a lot of them that are still ready and good. The body on the Maximus is destroyed, and I think that's what I might use the dipped body, hydro dipped body for. So we'll see when I get it in, if it fits well on that, or if it looks better on one of these other trucks. But my first RC, JNHM, my first RC was the Gravedigger Traxxas 2-wheel drive Stampede, and that was 2000, shoot, I just found it, 2013 or 2014. I just, you know, I think I made a note of it on my phone because I get asked this so much. So So let me just see if I did make a note or not. Aha. Oh. Seriously? There's nothing listed on it. That is too funny. Well, I don't see it in here. I have like a history, like CCxRC history. I was going to write it in there just because I get that question a lot as first trucks. And it just says that. Literally. That's all it says. And it's not going to focus for you guys. But yeah. Anyway, it was 2014, I think. And it was the Gravedigger. I could probably look through my photos and find it, but it's in here in my history of iPhone stuff. And I think that's when I put the date on it. It's either on there or on my Flickr account, which is old school, going back to my Flickr account. But I think it was like 2014. Jamin's asking any plans on getting one of the 5 red cats that came out. I haven't seen what 5 red cats came out, so I'm going to have to take a look. Cobalt says I need to replace another arm. Hard tree impact. Oh, that's funny. I'm guessing you have more arms because of your stockpile of parts that you picked up when Debbie's went out. Jane HM says, wow, okay, LOL. Why do you say wow? Somebody saying I should review the Basher Sabertooth. Yeah, well, I think Cobalt's got some parts. If not, I think I've got an arm. Yeah, it got me curious now. Like, I wanna look up when that was. I'm pretty sure it was like 2014. So here's 2012, 2013. Trying to quickly look at the photos in that time frame. You know, it's when I bought my house. Right after we got our house is when I got it. So when was that? 5 years ago? So I guess 2013? Now I'm digging too far. Yeah, it must have been 2013. Like April, I think. Thomas says, take a look. I will take a look. Josh does something. Do I do RC boats? I do. I have 3 boats now. Smaller ones that, none of the big ones that they race, but I have 3. The FT011 by Fayou. And then I have the Venom Atomic RC Barbed Wire 2. And then I have one other small one. JJRC boat. Wow, Cobalt, that's a lot of work right there, man. I bet you're exhausted. Breaking silence, am I going to do an RC hour every week? I can't promise that. I cannot promise that. I do them when I can. But this one was basically to announce that tonight I was going to do the thing with Honey Lulu for the body, that she's going to hydro dip, kind of show the process, and we'll see what it turns out like live, I guess. So I gave her some color ideas that I like, which kind of revolve a little bit around the Gravedigger colors. So yeah, black, green, purple, somewhere in that color spectrum. So we'll see what happens. Axiomatic's on. How's it going, Kagan? Is the atomic barbed wire a good deal? I think so, man. That thing's a rocket. It is a rocket. You need still water, and it just goes. It's small, so you can do it. And I take it to like the around here, over in Deep Creek. They've got the little sound that goes through the Dismal Swamp Canal, I guess is what it is, and I'll run it there and just rip it. I took it to Northwest River, and it was a little bit choppy that day because there was some weather blowing in, and that made it difficult to run because it was constantly jumping and skipping. But the bigger boat, the FT011, did really well. It's like a fee. I can't read it. I've got it over there. Here, give me a second. We'll go grab it. So I've actually got this one on the wrong stand, but it stuff. What is this one? It's like a, I can't remember the exact name of the company that makes it. Feilun, F-E-I-L-U-N. I keep thinking of like there's another company like Zhiyun that makes these cranes for your cameras, and so that's kind of what I was thinking of for some reason, and couldn't get my head wrapped around. But it's a pretty good sized boat, and so this one handles the water better for choppier. And I've got actual footage of that I'm going to be posting here soon. I shot it before I left when my brother and them stopped in to visit, and so we were running this one and the barbed wire and the CCxRC, all three of them, in the Northwest River. This one was nice because you could put the GoPro on it. The other boats are too small to put the GoPro on. I tried it anyway, and it just made it flip back down underwater. So it's a pretty sweet little boat. This one's, you know, decent size. I guess I have it on display over on the other side of the room, but they're a lot of fun. You know, but after a while, you know, once you run a battery through them, I'm kind of usually over it. It's great fun when you're on the water and you have it, you just kick it in. But yeah, after about 30 minutes, it feels the same, doing circles and laps. Maybe if I had other people to race with them, or you had some buoys set up to do kind of laps, that might make it more fun. So the atomic barbed wire does do the self-righting, which is really nice. So whenever it flips, especially out where you don't, like where we were running this was actually at the beach where you could swim, and there was nobody there because of the weather. And so we were out there with our kids, and it was fine. If it flipped, the kids would just go flip it over for us, with all of them. So that is the kind of one thing that was more worrisome with this one for me, is that in particular, flipping it and having it self-right, because it didn't do it as well. Yeah, the barbed wire does come with the Venom batteries. I ended up getting 3 of them. They actually last a lot longer than I thought they would. So this time we actually ran them until they went out, and kind of get a little warning as it kind of stalls out, but then you have enough power to get it back. See, I need some water jumps. Yeah, you'd have to do it. These hang down quite a ways, so you'd have to have probably a split in it for the motor to go through, I guess, or the prop and all that. Oh, I'm not sure how it would work. It'd be a lot of fun to do it. But just hitting the waves, if you had somebody, you know, kicking up some waves with a boat and jumping those would be fun. Josh says, at the beach, isn't saltwater bad for RC boats? Yeah, this was brackish water, and so as soon as I get it back, I hose it all off with fresh water, and then I air dry. I put a fan on it to air dry it. But yeah, it is something where you want to definitely clean it really well if you do take it into salt water. But I wouldn't take it into the actual ocean. I didn't. This was, most of the water around here is going to be brackish, so either I'll do it in like little ponds around the neighborhoods or things like that. But I haven't had issues with it after the brackish water and then running it through, you know, hosing it all down and cleaning it all out. I haven't had any issues with it so far. So anyway, all right guys, I'm gonna check out for now. I've got some stuff to take care of and get ready for the live video with Honolulu later on tonight doing the dip. And I should have videos coming with the boat here soon, and the CCxRC boat. So I've got several boat videos when we took these out and had just a blast with them. And the kids can run them. It's just a lot of fun because there's just open space to run, and so we had a blast with that. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, we'll be back here doing lots more. Got a lot of things and projects that we're working on. I've got, you know, new servos and stuff to install on different monster trucks to get those dialed in, so I can have my waterproof one on my mud truck. And yeah, hopefully getting some new projects in as well in the mail here soon. So I hope you guys are doing well, and we'll catch you next time.